You didn't say no. You didn't flat out tell me no. You didn't tell me to get the hell out of your house.
Hey everybody, what's going on? I have called an emergency meeting because, believe it or not, Fitz got called out on one of our clips from our latest episodes. Fitz, you said that the common objection that your price is too high is not rejection, or it shouldn't be viewed that way. So why?
It's pretty simple. You didn't say no. Okay. You didn't flat out tell me no. You didn't tell me to get the hell out of your house or place of business or whatever it is, right? And you have every right to, because I'm a guest at whatever property I'm at that point. So you could stand up and walk away from the table. You could help me carry my bags out. As an in-home sales rep, we've had that experience or two where we've gone out to the car, turn around, and our bags are sitting on the front porch and the lights on, right? So you didn't do any of those things. Instead, again, when you're making the comment, price is too high or it is higher than I thought it was going to be or whatever variation of that you're giving me, what I'm hearing from that is help me through whatever this comparison is that's going on inside of your head. It means there's more room for discussion.
Okay. Yeah. And you know what? To be honest, that makes sense. I'm on the consumer side of this. When I see people walking up to my front door, I think twice, but you still have to overcome this thought. So how do we do that?
Well, this is a tough one. And again, this is, I think, where a lot of reps get it wrong and probably press a little bit too much. So I'll ask you, Jay, so from the marketing side, what do you think like conventional wisdom or conventional instincts would tell us to do here when we get that as a response? Price is too high. What would be the first thing that your instincts would tell you need to do at this point?
Yeah, I think that most people would then feel like they need to justify it. So they would probably want to essentially try and resell the value, right?
Yeah. And, I think that's definitely where we were all taught, right? Like, if they don't believe the value, they're never going to believe your price, right? So you go back and you start trying to resell the value. Well, remember this, remember that, right? So if you think about it in kind of like a mini role play scenario of it. So, well, hey, Jay, but remember, you're going to get a lifetime warranty and our guys are factory trained installers and we're going to take really good. And we got all of these 5-star reviews. And right there, you're right there feeling exactly like I'm doing what?
Oh, you're just justifying your big price to me.
Exactly. And it almost makes it feel and look overinflated, like I'm in panic mode at this point and throwing a Hail Mary pass against the wall. I've already spent the last hour plus, hour or more telling you all of these things. And what I know is that on some level, you already believe that. You already bought all of that from me because you didn't ask me to leave. You didn't say, cool, thanks. Get that other company on the phone and give me a better price or whatever it is, because you said, well, it's too high, and then waited for me to respond. Right. So on some level, you are interested in finding out why you want to spend more money to go with me and my company and our product. I think that that's a fair assumption at this point. And I just need 5 more minutes to see if we can get that to light. So if I were to have laid out this outrageous number for something you to believe to be a low value offer, you wouldn't have me sitting here any longer. You would have kicked me out of the house. So really what I know at this point is what you are looking at is a number that you are comparing to one of two things. And that's really what it is. It's one of two things. And you're saying, I need to understand why I think it's higher than what it should be comparatively to these two things. I need that vote bless. So what do you think those two things are that you could be comparing it to?
Yeah, I think that in a lot of cases, the consumer reaches out for more information and they either had an idea in their head of how much it would cost. Maybe you're the first bid. And they're going, oh, I think it'll be this much. Or in this day and age, I've already gotten 5 other bids and their price was different than yours.
Exactly.
Right.
It can only be one of those two things. I mean, look, the law of statistics would say there's always an outlier, right? But usually it's either the number that you had in your head that you pulled out of thin air, or you have a quote from somebody else, even if it was like your neighbor told you what they paid for it, which, by the way, they're usually lying. They round it down. Right? Because everybody wants to tell you they got a better deal than they got anyway, right?
Yeah.
But so you're comparing it to a number that you were hoping for, or you're comparing it to a number that you got. Okay.
Yeah.
In either case, you still didn't ask me to leave. You still asked me to help you understand why you still want to spend more money to go with me. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's role play it a little bit for those that called me out on our last video. All right. So let's go with the one where you thought it would be less. Right. So let's say, Jay, I go through, I present my pricing for you. And let's just say I present a price of like 7,000. Is that fair? Okay. I mean, in your mind right now, you're thinking it's not fair for the record.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so Jay, for all of that, it's going to be 7,000.
You know what? That's quite a bit more than I thought it would be. To be honest, I had this number in my head. I don't know where it came from, but I thought maybe it'd be 4,000.
Okay. Okay. Well, you might not be surprised to know that I do from time to time hear that it is a little bit more than people thought it was going to be. Out of curiosity, where'd you come up with that number?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I guess maybe I saw an ad on Facebook, or maybe just to be honest, it's kind of what I had in my mind for my own budget.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Well, after we went through everything today and talked about some of the different ways we go about the install process and making sure that it's prepped the right way and taken care of the right way and the warranties and all the things that go along with it. I know you thought it was going to be four, but afterward, how much more do you think it would be after that?
Yeah. Well, I was most impressed by your explanation of how the floor is prepped with the big grinders. So, yeah, gosh, I don't know. You're putting me on the spot here there. Fits maybe 6. I mean, the lifetime
Okay.
warranty sounds really good. So there's some good features that you introduced me to. So, yeah,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah. Look, there's definitely, certainly cheaper ways to do a project, and generally people don't want to do cheap things to their home. But well,
I
six
don't.
is and I'm right there with you. Six is a good guess. I mean, that's pretty close. I mean, about 1,000 is the difference there between what I have you at with all the different things that we have to do with your project and what you were kind of hoping it to be at. So the question that I guess you have to answer is, do you think that that's worth the extra couple of bucks there to get the job done with the lifetime warranties that you mentioned and the prep
Mhm.
that goes into getting that project done the right way? Do you feel that that's worth it?
Yeah. I think the one and done peace of mind, I don't have to have you come back. Yeah, I it does. It sounds really good.
So look, we'll step out of role real quick, right? And I think this is the thing that a lot of reps will miss. They'll right away go back to reselling the value here or
Mhm.
trying to resell the value. And what they're competing against is your made up number of four in this kind of made up scenario in comparison to
Yeah.
my seven. I'm not going to close the $3,000 gap, but I don't
Yeah.
need to, right? I already worked for an hour and a half to close that gap that you had established at the beginning of our appointment. And knowing that, like, over the course of our conversation, you had already gone, like, four was a make believe, hopeful, wishful number
Yeah.
that I had to increase already. So now, if I can get you to come to the table again and go, yeah, you know what? I knew that that was probably a pie in the sky number and it's probably going to be closer to six. And I go, cool, $1,000, that's basically nothing in today's world. Right.
Mhm.
And wouldn't it be silly to say no over $1,000 if it was reasonably within your budget to do so to get it done the right way?
Yeah.
So then scenario number two, Jay. Scenario number two, you got a price from somebody else. Okay.
Mhm.
And this is probably the biggest one because this usually turns into conflict between the sales rep and the customer and some third party ghost that's not even in the room, where it's like
Yeah.
this argument that happens between three people. Right. So,
Mhm.
Jay, I got this all worked out for you here and everything we're going to be able to take care of for you. It's going to come in for a total for you of 7,000.
7. You're my third bid, and to be honest, I'm really taken seriously. I had ABC Epoxy come out and give me a bid for $4,000. That's a big difference.
Okay. Yeah. Well, one, good for you on doing your homework. I think that's good, and probably more of a glutton for punishment than I am having a couple of guys come out and do that for you. Um, well, out of curiosity, what was it that you liked about what they did?
Well, I mean, obviously the price difference. I mean, that
Hmm.
was more what I had in mind for my budget.
Okay.
But to be honest, they didn't take a lot of time with me. They just said this is how big your garage is and this is how much it'll cost.
Okay. Yeah. I know a couple of the people that are over there, and there's some good people that work there. So nothing against them. Process is a little bit different. Products a little bit different than what we do. What do you think makes the difference in the price between what we offer and what they offer? What do you think is the difference there?
Well, I could say your presentation was a lot better. You brought me in with a lot of education and helped me understand it. They didn't have a lifetime warranty. And
Okay.
I think they mentioned something about like pressure washing the floor or something. So
Oh,
you
interesting.
talking about
Okay.
a diamond grinder is pretty different.
Okay. Do you remember how long the warranty was for that?
I think it was 5 years, maybe.
5 years. Okay. And I guess so. They had a quote that was less, obviously. My question for you is, do you think it makes sense that it was less than what I'm showing you?
At this point, now that you're talking me through it, it definitely is. They definitely like under promised. Like it's a low cost with low warranty.
Yeah. Yeah. To be totally transparent with you, I'm actually surprised they're as close as they are to our cost.
Really?
It used to be a little bit more of a gap between what we did and what they do, but costs are going up for everybody these days. So I'm sure
Hmm.
that that's playing a factor in everybody's pricing. So the question for you, Jay, is again, everybody's budgets are different, and it's a matter of whether or not things fit reasonably into somebody's budget or not. And then the
Hmm.
question then becomes, if it does, is it worth, spending a little bit extra to get something done, maybe, with a little bit more quality or value to it. So it
Yeah,
sounds like you believe there's more value in what you're going to get with what we offer versus maybe some of those other options that you have out there. Is that fair to say?
absolutely. Great
Okay.
presentation.
Okay. And based off of the reviews and everything that we have online, you believe that it's not just me saying that, is it
Hmm.
also what you read online too? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so then the question becomes, between the difference between the two, is that something you feel would be worth you spending a little bit extra now to make sure it's something that lasts, a longer time for you?
Just the peace of mind. That sounds so appealing to me. So yeah, I'd say, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great. So look, again, stepping out of it, and it's a rough role play over a video screen here
Yeah.
with you and I, and there's still a lot more backstory and conversation that goes into the
Hmm.
rapport building there. The bigger thing I think here is that no matter what the objection is, most sales reps, the biggest mistake I see them make is they go into attack mode right away. We have all these word
Yeah.
tracks and ways to maybe overcome a thing or say a thing or whatever. Questions number one, right? Like, you didn't tell me no. You didn't tell me to get the hell out of here.
Hmm.
Slow down, ask a question or two, but also, like, you need to vocalize why you're still engaged in the conversation. It cannot be my idea as to why we are potentially considering spending more money and maybe going to put the stamp of approval on it. It has
Yeah.
to be your idea, not mine. So once you vocalize it out loud, now we got a shot at, getting to the finish line here. And
Hmm.
for good reason, right? Like, it does cost more for a reason. Things cost what they do for a reason. It's your
Yeah.
job as the consumer to find that out, not my job as a sales rep to convince you of that, right? Like, my job is to lay out facts. And unfortunately, some people, skew the facts and tell you it is the best, it is the greatest, and, but it's not. If my price is
Hmm.
higher, generally it's higher for a reason. I already told you all the reasons and you believed it, which is why you're asking me to tell you more. So
Yep.
that's my reframing of it. That's why anytime that somebody gives me an objection at the end, I feel pretty good about my chances of closing that job or helping them
Yeah.
through this part of the conversation, because you didn't tell me to get the hell out of your house.
Yeah. We worked with a dealer for a while that, he would if the customer would say it's too much, he would pull up the Google business reviews and show them his, and he had like 800 or something. And then he'd pull up the competitor's price, their Google business profile, and it'd be like, 4 stars or 3.8, and it'd be like 15 reviews. And he would sell on the value of, there's a relationship here that I can guarantee you I will uphold. And I think that that's such a big difference too when selling this stuff, is the customer wants to be a part of something great. Not only do they want a great floor, but they want to say that a great company installed it. So I think that's pretty good.
That's good stuff. So hopefully this answers the question about how to
Yep.
reframe it. A lot of it has to do with mindset, right?
Yep.
Again, the best word tracks in the world. We're not going to convince anybody to do anything that they don't already want to do, something they don't already want to do. You
Yep.
can't teach somebody how to do that, right? But
Yeah.
if you start to really understand maybe what it is that somebody's trying to tell you or ask you in this situation, I think
Yeah.
you end up with a lot more confidence. And I just need 5 more minutes of conversation to really get to the core of what it is
Mhm.
we're saying or asking here. And
Yeah.
and again, if I can get that moment of clarity for a homeowner, maybe I can save them from making a bad decision, a cheap decision.
Yeah. And I can say on the marketing side here, the amount of customers that come through our inboxes that say, hey, I had somebody do my floor a year ago. They're not even in business anymore.
Mm.
It's peeling. It looks horrible. Can you guys help? And in some cases, we can see that they even reached out to us for a bid a year ago, and then they didn't go with us.
Mhm.
And they're coming back, and we're like, could you share some pictures? And they were like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that floor is in rough shape. We would have to remove it and put our floor in. So yeah, this
absolutely.
is this is a good conversation to have.
Good stuff, man. I hope it
Yep.
helps.
Yep. All right. And for the original poster, keep your eye out for this and give us some feedback.
There you go. Happy hunting, everybody.